You would by now be aware that the SNAP authorities have released details regarding SNAP 2020 and how it will be conducted. A lot of you would have seen that major changes have been proposed to SNAP, not only in terms of number of attempts but also very importantly in terms of its pattern. So, in this quick video, let's have a look at the changes that have been proposed so far and the kind of changes that we can come to expect and how we can prepare for that. So, yeah. So, what is the new test pattern? As you can see, we've compared Snap 19 versus Snap 20. So, before we go to Snap 20, we should be aware of the broad pattern that used to be there for Snap every year. Snap historically has always been a 2-hour test, irrespective of whether it was a paper based test or even after it became an online test a few years ago. On the whole, it was always 2 hours from 2 to 4. This year, the biggest change that has happened is that Snap has become a 1 hour test with nearly half the number of questions. So this becomes, a major change as far as students are concerned. Now, why is this very important? See, if you look at it last year, Snap had 110 questions for 150 marks, and to solve so many questions over 2 hours was a tricky proposition because it made Snap a speed oriented test, which is still is, with 60 questions and 60 marks for 1 hour. So it still is, but the number of questions per section has dropped. As you can see, the number of questions for RCVA, which were 34, has dropped, right, has become less than half. That's only 15 questions. There is one more thing here. If you notice, last year, both the RCVA and the analytical and logical reasoning section had 1.5 marks per question, which means that if you were good enough in these sections, then you could either get a lot of marks, but if you weren't that good, then you could even lose a lot of marks there. So that was a problem. Now that discrepancy has been removed because every section has 1 mark. So you don't really need to worry about whether RCVA or reasoning is your best section. No, that does not happen now. The other important aspect last year was that you had 40 QA DS questions, that's quant, DI, and data sufficiency. Even within that, you can see there is this breakup for 35 plus 5. That is, there were 35 MCQs with 1 mark, and there were 5 special questions. They were called special questions by Snap, which were essentially like the TETA questions of CAT, where you did not have options but you had to fill in the answer, and these were 2 mark questions. So Snap had differential marking last year. That was one very important point, and we also observed that these TETA questions were slightly tougher compared to the MCQs that we had. So on the whole, last year when we analyzed the Snap quant section and the overall Snap paper, I would say that it was an easy to moderate paper, and that ended up reducing the cutoff somewhat. When we look at Snap this year, we observe number of questions has gone down for each section. As we said, 15 for verbal, with a lot of emphasis on vocabulary, grammar, which is the typical Snap pattern here. Instead of 2 or 3 RCs, which Snap generally has, we now expect 1 RC. Of course, we can't say that that will definitely be true, but we expect at the most 2 with 2 to 3 questions. On the whole, if you see, I would not expect more than 5 questions per RC, or for RC in all. Similarly, in DIDS with 20 questions in all, we would expect one or two questions from DS, maybe one DI set, or at the most 5 DI questions, and the rest would be quant. Snap typically has an arithmetic focus, so that is expected to continue, but we can't say that right away. And lastly, Snap historically has always loved the reasoning section. Years ago, before it went online, Snap used to give 2 marks for reasoning and 1 mark for the other sections. This was the standard Snap pattern a few years back. So it always gave more importance to reasoning. So here again you see that the maximum marks and the most questions are all allocated to the reasoning section. So as you can notice here, the complications involved in Snap have gone down a bit in terms of trying to strategize how many marks per section, so which section should I focus on, etc. etc. All those strategies go down a notch, and you need to treat each section more or less similarly. At the same time, you notice that Snap generally does not have sectional cutoffs, which means that you can play to your strengths, and accordingly you can try and maximize your score from the two sections that you prefer the most. So that would become a very important tip as far as preparing for Snap is concerned. Having looked at this, and in later videos we will have a look at a detailed strategy with respect to how Snap is to be cracked. For now, we are considering this as a purely informational interaction, where we will now discuss the other details with respect to Snap. So what are the other details that have been released so far? You need to understand that the details given out so far are all on the official blog of the Snap authorities. These have not yet come up on snaptest.org, which is the official website. However, the information that's available so far is this. You notice that earlier Snap used to be conducted exactly once a year on a single day. Typically, that day used to be the third Sunday of December. Now, it is proposed that Snap will be conducted once in December and most likely twice more in January. The student will be allowed to take at the most 2 attempts. So, the student can select whether he wants to take 1 attempt or 2 attempts. But he or she will need to decide this well in advance. So while applying, the student will need to say whether I want to apply once or I want to apply twice. Of course, if a student appears twice, then the best of 2 percentiles will be considered. So suppose you get 97.89 in your first attempt and 99.20 in your second, then that will be considered, and vice versa. In terms of fees, you will need to pay 1750 per attempt. So yes, it does get costlier if you select 2 attempts, but then if you are getting a best of 2 chance, then it is worthwhile. The registration details etc. have not yet been released formally. Some of the details might be available on the internet on different platforms. I would recommend that you wait for a few days. We believe that in the middle of this week we should have all the dates given to us on the website snaptest.org. Lastly, what are the colleges that you can expect to get in for through Snap? So the first would be SIBM. That's the flagship college under the Symbiosis umbrella. Now, the Snap authorities have confirmed that for the 3 core programs of SIBM, that is the pure MBA, the MBA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, that's called MBA I and V, and the MBA in Strategy and Leadership, that's called MBA SLN program, Snap will have to be taken. The second most important college here would be SCMHRD for students wanting to pursue a career in HR. Apart from this, Snap does have 14 other institutes specializing in various areas, some of the more prominent ones being SIOM for operations in Nasik, SIIB for international business in Pune. SCMHRD, I believe, also has a data analytics program. I think you'll need to check on their website. SIBM has two other campuses, Bengaluru and Hyderabad, which are reasonably good, though Pune is ranked higher. And then you have SCIT and SIMC in Pune, which are the other flagship colleges here. So, of course, you have a lot more, and that can be checked from the Snap website. So, as we said, so far these details have been released. How do you start preparing for Snap? So, typically for Snap, students rely on testing, and we will soon be releasing not only a test series but also a more comprehensive program for people wanting to go into the Symbiosis group of institutes. That is not the purpose of this video, so I will talk about that later, and all those details will be up on the website separately. But for now, you need to keep in mind these details and plan your Snap prep accordingly, taking into account this new pattern. Thank you.